Hello everybody, Sawyer here, and Happy New Year! If you haven't realized, people have been happy about the New Year. People are like, oh, I can start my year off on this foot, on the right foot. I'm going to go backwards a little bit. I'm going to talk about something today that I absolutely hate. It involves the Dragon Ball Z community. Hard to assume that I hate stuff about the Dragon Ball Z community. But here we are. Top 5 things I absolutely hate about the Dragon Ball Z community. Number 5. Pronunciationers. One of the biggest things I totally hate about the Dragon Ball Z community is people who like to take pronunciation a little too far. These are the people that will say Kakaroto as opposed to Kakarot and Son Goku as opposed to just Son Goku. Or even worse, by saying Saiyajin or instead of Saiyan, or Super Namek Seijin instead of Super Namekian, which I think Super Namekian is easier to say than Super Sai. Well, whatever. Either way, there are people in the Dragon Ball Z community who take pronunciation just a little too far. People like Geekdom 101, he really takes it a little too far, and it kind of gets annoying because he also likes to think that you have to say it this way. Like, people also think that it really matters what someone's name is. Like saying Kakaroto is one of the weirdest things I've ever heard because it just does not sound right coming out of an English guy's mouth. It works for Japanese people, it doesn't work over here in Canada and America, and that's kind of why I put this on the list. Number 4. Japanese is the only way to go. Like I said in the last one, I said there were people out there that prefer to say things in the Japanese pronunciation, which to me kind of annoys me because there are people out there that can't stand the Japanese pronunciation. I'm okay with it. I'm watching Dragon Ball Super, sorry, in Japanese, but that's only because it's not in English yet. Had I had the chance to watch Dragon Ball Z in Japanese versus English, I'd be watching the English version. People out there seem to think that the only way you can watch Dragon Ball Z is by watching and reading the manga in Japanese. There is no possible way where this can be watched or seen or watched or read in English. That's what people seem to think, is that you have to know what the exact pronunciation of things are, what the exact way it's written is. The reason for a dub from a sub, like changing a dub from Japanese to English, is so that people understand the same scenario in a different way. That doesn't mean that the words have to be exactly the same for the panel. Like, there's a thing where it's instead of Goku being angry at Beerus, he says, I won't let you destroy destruction in the Japanese dub, and in the English dub, he says, I won't let you destroy my world. Personally, I like this more, but there are people out there, geekdom, who seem to think that the version that Goku said, I won't let you destroy the destruction, is better just because it was in Japanese. Number 3. Dragon Ball AF. After that awful, awful show known as Dragon Ball GT, people decided, I don't like the ending to Dragon Ball GT. And I completely agree with them. But do they have to go as far as to create an entire 10-year series of Dragon Ball known as Dragon Ball AF? A continuation of GT that focuses around Goku's return as a somehow adult. I don't understand. A lot of people I talk to don't even know what it is. I'm happy that they don't because it's a total whack job show. There's an evil Goku. There's a Super Saiyan 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It annoys me because people seem to think that this collective world, isn't just the same thing as Dragon Ball GT was. There is a evil Dragon Ball set of twins and shit. It just to continue on a bad story and make it even worse is the thing that I get annoyed with, is that people made this fan service series that was crazy over the top. It was, you know what AF originally stood for back when they created it? It was Akira Toriyama who created Dragon Ball AF. It's Dragon Ball April Fools. People have then turned that around on Akira Toriyama and made it into an actual series known as Dragon Ball as fuck. AF as fuck. Oh, did I forget to mention one thing about Dragon Ball AF? People seem to think. And overall, we'll say Dragon Ball AF is more canon than Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super, the actual canon thing before GT that erased GT, creating an entire world where AF is no longer possible. People think that that actually exists as the true canon. Number two, what if battles? There are just some things in the Dragon Ball Z community that are good, like additional add-ons like Dragon Ball Super that have continuous story, a new Super Saiyan form, like Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. Then there are the add-ons that make no sense whatsoever that are completely non-canon. The what if battles. If those of you who don't know what the what if battles are, I applaud you and I wish I were you. Now I'm going to break that and say you don't want to be you right now because I'm about to tell you what the what if battles are. There are these little fights between characters from other series like Naruto versus Goku, or what if battles like Beerus versus Omega Shenron, or other battles like Goku versus Superman. There are some what if battles that should not exist. There are some what if battles that can exist. Like there's one specific what if battle that's Goku versus whatever the hell Straw Hat guy from One Piece is versus another guy that basically rips off Goku for a thing of meat. That was a special episode. But either way, most of these one if battles shouldn't exist. Why? Because I can answer you. I can answer the what if battles without even having to watch the fight. Goku vs. Superman. Goku vs. Naruto. Omega Shenron vs. Beerus. Goku wins versus Naruto. Goku wins versus Superman. Beerus wins versus Omega Shenron. These fights are just obvious to see, and other people like Death Battle and things like that don't see how obvious they are. Unfortunately, I don't have the same opinion as most people, and that is unfortunate because my opinion makes more sense than other people's opinion. Unfortunately, people are out there that don't like my opinion. Finally, number one, Dragon Ball GT. No shit. For those of you who didn't see this coming, I apologize. No, actually, I'm not. It should really be here on anyone's list of number one hated things ever made from Dragon Ball Z. It is the worst thing that ever sprouted. It made every character weaker. It made Goku a kid. It involved an ape half form that looks between the Super Saiyan 3 transformation scene from Goku first showing it to Baby. Wow. Showing it to Boo. You see, now this is how much I hate Dragon Ball GT. It gets in my mind when I'm trying to talk about Dragon Ball Z. It was so bad that the story was horrible. Like, the story was a good idea, but it was very badly betrayed. Dragon Ball GT. Let's put it to you this way. Dragon Ball GT came out, they made Goku a kid. The Dragon Balls somehow were magically created when Piccolo and Kami decided to fuse back together, and no one decided to use them. Why? Because they were hidden in the most open spot in the temple. Literally. It was also there too. Jesus. Dragon Ball GT made Trunks stupid. Gave him a tie, basically made him 17, just didn't look cool. And they had Pan. Pan wasn't as bad as everyone likes to make her out to be. She sucked, yeah, but she wasn't as bad as Gohan. Wasn't as bad as Trunks. Wasn't as bad as Goten. Wasn't as bad as Vegeta. There's a bad. Vegeta had a mustache and cut his hair and was super weak. Everyone was so weak that they had to muster down the characters. Had they had Goku and Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z at the end fighting Boo, they'd have no issue fighting Baby. They'd have no issue fighting Super 17. They'd have no issue fighting Omega Shenron. These people were just so weak and pathetic, I don't even know why they were part of anything. Why they decided to make Goku a kid was to have the adventure. The adventure was gone. The adventure was no longer there. The adventure is Dragon Ball. They tried to recapture it by making Goku a kid. That's not what made the adventure. What made the adventure was the slow pacing of collecting the Dragon Balls, the fun of watching Goku fight the Red Ribbon Army, fighting in the tournaments, the stuff that made the Earth seem a lot bigger. When they started going into space is what lost the adventure. Going into space for Dragon Ball GT to have an adventure doesn't make sense because that's what took away the adventure altogether. That's why I don't like GT. Super Saiyan 4 is stupid. The reason you get Super Saiyan 4 is stupid. A comet flies over your head. Big whoop. And that's why I don't like Dragon Ball GT. I don't want to go into further depth because there are actually people out there who like Dragon Ball GT. Alright, everybody, so that's my top 5 hated things about the Dragon Ball Z community. If you guys liked this list, you're smart. If you guys didn't like this list, you're part of the Dragon Ball Z fans that like this stuff. Soul Hero is out. Hey, if you stuck around this long, then yeah, you get to know something cool. This is the first video of 2016. Congratulations from me. If you guys like this video, leave a like. If you guys like this video, leave a comment. If you guys like this video, subscribe. If you guys like this video, thank you. If you didn't like this video, too bad. If you didn't like the video, don't leave a like, leave a dislike, leave a hate comment. I won't read that. Don't subscribe or unsubscribe. Doesn't matter to me. I'm only at 10 anyway. Soul Hero officially out this time.